Hey you guys, this is Yolanda from Yolaji Holistic Wellness, and I am making this video as you have seen me in the I Am 8-Day Challenge with Tanya, Donna, and Maggie. I'm making this video for our day 2 series, and so I just kind of wanted to share my experience of what has happened to me. So I have actually been on board with manifesting for quite some time. 6 years ago, I believe, was it 6 years? Yeah, it was 6 years ago. I decided to completely just quit office work or whatever it was that I was doing at the time, which was like a little bit of temp agency work and personal training, and dive right into my spiritual healing practice. It was something that I wasn't expecting. It had no intentions of doing it. I just happened to see a place for rent. The deal was too sweet to pass up, and I did it off of just a small budget of like $1,000 of what I had with my earned income, so to speak. So at the time of the first year I was married, and this was brick and mortar. I had been accumulating clients previously before that since 2010, but 2016 is when I decided I would do a brick and mortar. And so when I did that, the first year was great. I actually opened my office somewhere that was remote in the suburban area in La Plaza, and it was great. And then I went through a rocky divorce and decided that it was time to close my place down. Fast forward, not even 2 months later, I tried going back to the corporate world, and I said, forget this. I could not handle the stress and the anxiety and the fear of the snowball effect, which is really bad, emotionally to deal with and stressful. And so I found a place, and not even by the third day I gave my 2 week notice. I didn't even last 2 weeks. So, but I put my faith and I put my trust in the process, is where I'm going with that. That's where I'm trying to go with this story, right? Fast forward, last year we had Ida. And for those who have gone through hurricanes and have lost everything or partially or even just a small fraction, is still a scary situation. Within the first week of the Ida, I reopened my doors. I had electricity by the end of the week because it was in Kenner. And I had people ask me, how do you expect to run your business with everything that's going on right now? I didn't listen. I went ahead and jumped in and reopened my doors and excelled. Fast forward this year. So, my October reading that I shared with you guys was about starting from scratch, right? And so when I was reading that, that was the same kind of like the similar energy that we had last year back in September with the storm and everything. This weekend, I had an experience that I couldn't quite shake over. So, I grew up very poor. We were low income. My parents still tried to send us to the best of Catholic schools and give us what it was that we had, but we were not, we were not top of the barrel. We were considered poverty stricken. And so I had the basis of what I needed, and that was it. Well, you know, over the weekend, I've worked hard for my business. Before we get to the weekend, I've actually worked very hard for my business, and I accelerated. And so for me, I have, as I've told you in my stories, manifesting, jumping things, just like growing and expanding, has been like surmountable for me. It's been an amazing experience. But this weekend, I really had an overwhelming, whew, thing that just like totally rocked me to the T. And basically, it was identity fraud. Someone had hacked into my main bank account. This is a bank account that I had 3 accounts with. Okay. They got my username, they got my password, they were able to go in and they started sending money to Western Union and tried to spend it at Winn-Dixie with small purchases, but the Western Union was way larger, right? I'm on the phone with the bank, who called me, by the way, and there is no 24/7 hour support fraud system, call center for this bank, because it's little independent mom and pops. And I had to literally watch my account like go down, freaking out. And the fraud department telling me that it would be okay, that they were going to stop it, this and that. It was stopped, but not by them. It was stopped because I kept changing the passwords, kept transferring the funds to the different alternating accounts to try to, create confusion, or try to misdirect their actions. And luckily, when I did that, it completely froze the account. It locked it down. This sort of fear goes way beyond losing a house or losing an item. This is a fear that is your whole identity. This is your whole identity that we're talking about. And so at that moment, I was just flabbergasted and felt so, like, I don't even know how to explain it. I felt so bare. And when I say bare, I mean, it was like to the point where it was just, what do I do? There was like no reaction. I was shocked. I had no reaction. My money, my life savings was being deducted. But luckily I was able to stop it. And so the weekend was very stressful for me. But I defeated all of this. I got myself in check. I did a lot of spiritual thinking and reflection. And so the topic for today is detachment. So we talk about going into this challenge and detaching from the negative points of views of, am I not worthy enough? Or am I worthy enough? Am I successful? This and that. And so with this experience, it actually brought me to a deeper layer of, am I worthy? No, this has nothing. Did I do something wrong? That was the second one. No, I did not. I didn't do anything wrong. I did not leave myself vulnerable. These are the type of things that happen. And this is where I'm trying to explain that money is only a physical form of value that society gives it. The detachment from that is very important. And the reason why I say that is because when we see things, when we physically buy it, or we physically see it, or we physically are praised for things of like what it is that we should be doing by society or by corporate or anything like that, it does give us a sense of security. It gives us a sense of being. It gives us a sense of knowing. But here's the thing. If you had everything taken away from you in just one moment like that, what do you have left? What if you had no job, no money, no place, nowhere to go? Like, you don't even know where you are going to go. What do? One thing. You detached from that belief system of, I have to have this in order to gain that. You start trusting within yourself and stop attaching to relying on other people. You stop attaching and basing your abundance on money. Because guess what? If you're a healer, and you are, your greatest gift, your greatest value is the opportunity of your essence being here on earth. And that does not mean not know, it doesn't mean, like, if you're confused about what it is that you have to offer, you shouldn't be. Just know and trust that you do have something to offer. Me, when I experienced that, I was like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to pay my bills? But then I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter because I'm going to bounce right back. If I would have had to, I would have taken just cash under the table and continued my practice. I had enough on the spare just to maintain for the next couple of months. My income would have came back. Why? Because I knew and trusted what I was capable of. Was I in fear that somebody was going to hack and potentially take my identity? But what is our identity? What do we define as our identity? Is it these things? Is it money? Or is it the inner knowing, the inner strength within yourself, the inner connection of your higher self to know, to be guided, and to trust where it is that you're going. And majority of the times you may not even know where you're going. You may just be like oblivious, and that's okay. But guess what? As long as you don't think, you go with the flow, you're going in the right direction. When you start overthinking, when you start overanalyzing, and you start just being consumed with all the mental cluster mess that's in the system, you begin to stress your body. This raises cortisone levels. This goes into your flight or fight. And so don't ask yourself with this challenge, how much more money do I want to make? Even though it is about money. But here's the thing. You have to trust in yourself and in your abilities to know that you can make this money. Okay? And even if it's not money, it could be something else. Because abundance and being rich is being healthy, it's living the life, it's releasing and letting go of what no longer serves you and being free. An example I want you to try is think of the most, you're going to do this twice. You're going to think of the most negative thing that you are in fear of right now about money. What is it that makes you squirm? What is it that makes you like really disbelief about the concepts that you have about money? And I want you to stand up, and I want you to circle. Like, you know how when you was a kid, you'd always twirl around? You're going to stand up. You're going to twirl around. And I want you to twirl around several times, okay? And keep thinking about what it is that is negative about the money concept. And as soon as you stop, and I want you to really twirl. I want you to twirl about like maybe a good minute if you can. And then when you stop, keep your eyes closed. Keep thinking about that thought. That is what stress feels like, okay? Now, once we clear those thoughts, we start thinking positive. We start imagining what it would be like to totally have a strong relationship with ourselves, put faith in what our capabilities are and what talents and passions that we have, your motivations. Then I want you to close your eyes, twirl yourself around, and as you're doing this, imagine yourself as a child playing outside in the forest or at the park for the very first time. And then when you've twirled around after about another minute, stop, keep the eyes closed, and just feel the magic. So that is my guidance for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you guys have a great challenge, which it is going to be. Remember, release it and be free.